Every business, everywhere, hopes to offer something to customers that no other business model can. It could be a product, a service, or method of delivery that competitors cannot match. When a company has a unique selling proposition that the competition simply cannot match, it is referred to as having an unfair advantage. Companies do not operate fairly, and there is no moral component to any competitive advantage. A company with an unfair advantage operates in the same industry as competitors who simply cannot perform efficiently as they can. Recognizing and doubling down on your company's unfair advantages is a critical component of innovation. Recognizing your true unfair advantage, on the other hand, requires work, reflection, courage, and ability. Finding and exploiting it is as certain a path to success as any business can take. The startup world likes to talk about finding an unfair advantage or an advantage that allows you to leave the competition behind you and play in an uncrowded space. A sustainable advantage is one that cannot be easily copied or purchased by another. But as an established organization, what unfair advantages do you have over a startup? After all, as an experienced business owner, you are probably less agile. Perhaps you are a more risk-averse person. You have some overhead. You have employees to consider. You have significant assets that you can leverage as a large organization. For example, suppose you have a brand. You already have customer relationships and access. You have extensive technical knowledge in specific areas. You've already established an online presence. You are familiar with existing markets. You have some trade secrets. You have purchasing power as a result of your success and credit. You have distribution connections. You have monetary resources, and you almost certainly have a plethora of other assets and capabilities. A startup does not have all these things, and neither do any of its competitors. These are things that, if used correctly, can form the foundation of your own unfair advantage. But how do you generate and capitalize on your unfair advantages? There are several ways to gain an unfair advantage. As you may have guessed, the first step in identifying an unfair advantage is to look for it. After all, you can't use something you don't know you have. So, where should you look? Well, I recommend that you consider your business model in terms of how you create value and how your company grows value, either internally or externally. Internal value creation through the use of strengths such as product and service development, knowledge, market experience, or logistics. Creating external value by improving brand, marketing, sales, or customer relationships, and assisting your team in finding new ways to deliver new customer experiences. We are hesitant to divide value creation in this manner because it is not always so simple. Value creation can span both the internal and external worlds. The creation of an online community is an excellent example of this. The technology that powers that aspect of your online business, like a blog, a YouTube channel, or other social media, as well as the users themselves, are external. But the skills your team employs to foster the connection between users and your company are internal. The most straightforward method is to brainstorm and build on the ideas generated by a series of interviews with senior business executives in your core organization. This method will quickly reveal some of your greatest strengths. However, in my experience, it often does not go far enough because many businesses are not used to reflecting on their assets and capabilities. So asking people what they believe their differentiating strengths are may not yield a complete and accurate picture. Another beneficial brainstorming exercise is to complete the exercise from the perspective of your competitors. Unpacking their unfair advantages can help you understand your own. If you've assembled an innovation team to investigate your unfair advantages, members must conduct interviews with other employees to gain a comprehensive understanding of what's going on in divisions other than their own. And if you want to take a more systematic approach, I recommend using a capability map. Capabilities are the processes, knowledge systems, and specific skills that a company has that allows it to operate, earn revenue, and compete with other companies. Capabilities maps usually summarize a company's abilities. They can exist at various organizational levels, ranging from an abstract list of capabilities at the enterprise level to a much more detailed visualization when focusing on the specific capabilities of organizational units or even something like the IT system. A third option is to mine your operating model for strengths that set you apart from your competitors. Your operating model describes the execution of your strategy and assists in achieving high-level alignment. This model is useful because it outlines the actual activities that generate value-added components of your business that can set you apart from your competitors. Not every unfair advantage is created equal, and different assets and activities can provide a more or less powerful unfair advantage depending on your business model. Many entrepreneurs decide to do things differently. We all enjoy disrupting the status quo, moving ahead, and investing in our fullest potential. However, simply doing something differently does not constitute an unfair advantage. The majority of your organization is comprised of non-core activities. Entire areas such as accounting, forecasting, marketing, and human resources are not even sector-specific, and thus do not contribute to your organization's differentiation. You can improve efficiency or reduce costs in these areas, but further investment in these areas is unlikely to increase your competitive advantage. Your core activities are industry-specific and are areas in which you excel. However, in this case, you are competing against other firms and are not superior to them. Compare these to your distinguishing features. These are the activities that distinguish you from other companies, and as a result, provide a competitive advantage. These differentiating activities, and thus assets and capabilities, make up a small portion of your total activities, roughly 2 to 5% of the total. To summarize, when looking for strengths that support innovation, we should look for core or ideally differentiating assets and capabilities, as these will support your competitive advantage. You should have more strengths after implementing these strategies. Your assets and capabilities are typically your strengths, and if you've been in the game for a while, you have an unfair advantage due to prior purchases and choices. Finally, successful entrepreneurs provide more value to more people, in part by capitalizing on these significant unfair advantages. And that's all from me, guys. Thank you for sticking with me all the way till the end. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.